Hey, welcome to Lolly Love and Life. I am so thrilled to have Tinnie join us tonight. I had met her on Facebook. Something was tugging at my heart to get to know this girl. And I am so thankful that I listened to his tugging and said yes, because she has blessed my heart. And so I thought I'd bring her on because she has a story that I want others to hear, because she decided to be an open vessel in God's calling. And he is blessing her in many ways. So, Tenny, I just want you to come on and tell about who you are, where you're at, your story, some events that are coming up, and just share with us about that tonight.
Hey, yes. God, whenever I gave my heart to God about 4 or 5 years ago, and in that time, it was a really rough patch in my life, and I really was broken, and I was needing to be broken in order to come to Him, and so within that time, God, He gives me dreams. I believe thoroughly, that God will try to get to us one way or another.
Mhm.
So in that dream, he called. I was speaking in front of two sets of people in that dream, and so I'm like, okay, Lord, I know you have. I believe everybody has a calling. I believe everybody, they're always, they're called to something. God is always, He's called them to something. So, for me, I'm like, okay, Lord, I know that you've given me this dream for a reason. So, what is it? And, um, I was in a ladies' retreat, and there I spoke to a woman that, we were sitting at the table, and I was telling her, hey, I think I sound a little crazy, but um God, He gives me dreams, and I was explaining to her, and I didn't know why
Mhm.
I was opening up to her, but I just felt led like I was to talk to her. And little did I know, she was a prophetess, and she really, just wanted to know about my background and my life. And I told her, and I'll get to that in a minute. I know I started about my ministry. I'm sorry.
That's
But
okay.
so, she was talking to me, and well, it got around time to like the worship part of the night. And at the end, she had some notes jotted down of what the Lord was giving her on who to pray for and what to pray about and stuff. And she got to the part where it was God telling her that in that room that they are new ministries to be born.
Mm.
And she, I felt that tug then, but I didn't get up, because some of us, like, myself, are stubborn. So she was looking around the room, and she was calling people to get up to go, and she looked right in my eyes and
Mm.
said, "This is for you." So I immediately then knew, that dreams that I had, that they were calling me to ministry.
Mhm.
And so, I'm like, okay, Lord, you know, um, I know this is what you've called me to do. So, I need to know what I need to do in my ministry and the name. I've always believed, you got to be specific on what you pray for.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, whenever I got back from that retreat, not even a couple days to a week after, um, I was listening to that song, Graves into Gardens by, I believe it's Elevation Worship or Brandon Lake. I know they both have
Mhm.
a song like that, but I was listening to it, and what the song is talking about is, God can turn anything that looks like a mess, that looks broken, into something beautiful.
Mhm.
And I've always loved that song. So
Yeah.
it got to the part to where it was talking about, you give beauty for ashes. And in that moment, God's like, that's the name of your ministry. That's the name I want you to name it.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, beauty for ashes. What
Yeah.
does that mean, Lord?
Yeah.
It was like he was giving me tidbits at a time. So I got to looking, and I got to looking on Google, and it was referring to Isaiah 61. Well, I went in my Bible and I went to Isaiah 61, and the Lord was talking to the prophet Isaiah, telling him, I need you to come and, it had this list of things that I need you to do for my people.
Mhm.
I need you to proclaim liberty to the captives. I need you to give them, to tell them, that they need a garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. And then in verse 3, it says, um, give them beauty for ashes.
Mm.
So, and within that passage there, it's talking about, taking the things that are broken, taking the things, these people, that are bound down by sin and by destruction and by strongholds,
Mhm.
and, freeing them from that. And then I knew exactly why God called me into this ministry and why it's named Beauty for Ashes. Because in my past, I grew up, being mentally abused. I grew up, you know, being told that I was worthless and that I wouldn't amount to anything and that I could never feel, my dad's shoes. And, I come from this broken home myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I firmly believe, if you are, um, you're never going to be able to reach somebody that, you haven't been in their shoes.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, um, you're never going to be able to reach them. And so I can, I know where people are coming from when, they've been mentally abused. I know where people are coming from when they feel like they're less than nothing,
Right.
or they're worthless, and God is wanting me to show them that there is a better way, that you are worth it, that you are worth, living for, that you do have a purpose, you do have a calling for him,
Mhm.
and that he is that purpose.
Mhm.
We all have a calling for him. We all have a purpose in this world, or we wouldn't be living here.
Mhm. Mhm.
It says, that, before we were even born, that God knew us, that he
Gee,
placed that specific calling in us before we were even born.
is that not amazing?
So we do have a purpose,
Mhm.
So that's my ministry. That's a bit of my testimony. Now what ministry is, I go speak wherever he needs me to speak. Um, I do have events that I do, like Girls' Day events. He's called me to
Mhm.
do that, where you come in and you can be pampered for the day. Maybe, you just, day to day gets busy. Women don't have time for self care. So this
Like,
is a day that women can come in and be pampered. There's like different stations set up for like nails and hair and crafts. And then we, you get to fellowship and eat. And then I have women that God leads me to ask to come and give their testimonies, to be empowered and be lifted up.
mhm.
And and at the end, if they need prayer for anything, they can come up and, we'll greet them with open arms and pray for them, and, hoping that they'll come in leaving better than what they came in.
Amen. That's amazing. That's beautiful. I think a lot of women out there suffer silently, don't you? They
Yes, they do.
know that they're
They
suffering.
suffer in silence because they don't want to, they feel like they're nothing, and they don't want to come out and take that step. They
Right.
feel like a burden. You know,
They
I
try
know
to.
for me, I felt like a burden to come to people.
Mhm. You try to act like everything's fine. I'm okay. I'm great.
Yes, they put
I
on a mask and they feel,
They feel horrible. And this is just
yes.
a safe place for them to come, and they're not judged. They don't
No, there
feel
is
out
no
of place.
judgment. I
They just
open
feel
each and every woman that walks in there, I try to greet them, and we try to open our arms and our hearts to them.
mhm.
I
That's
don't
good.
want them to feel like they have to feel, less than anybody or better than anybody. We're just all, broken women wanting to be loved and to
Mhm.
love others.
Mhm. And it's not like affiliated that, you gotta belong to this church or that church, or,
No,
this is
no
an open
denomination,
open door.
just come in and have, be prepared to be loved
Mhm.
and to show women, the love of Christ.
I think that's amazing. I mean, I just love that freedom to feel that, because again, I know personally women that could just get so much from the day, just hearing other people's stories and arms wrapped around them and just not having a care in the world, because you're going to forget about things when you walk through that door because you're not going to have time to think about that. You're going to be thinking about, God, these people
Yes.
love me.
Plan like months. I plan months ahead. I pray. I'm in fervent prayer. I pray the night before. I pray as I'm decorating. I pray um as I plan.
They're
I
doing
pray as
everything.
I pray that
Yes,
these
yes, and God
women
answers those.
feel loved and feel welcomed.
Well, because you again, you're an open vessel, and you've given your heart to God to be led by Him, and so He's going to use you because you're so willing. I mean, yeah,
Yes.
you tired sometimes. Yeah, you probably still feel some of those feelings sometimes
Oh
because yeah, they're going
yes. I don't want anybody to think, that I'm perfect and that I have it all together, because I don't. Um,
right, right.
I
I
still
still
have those moments where, I wonder, God, is this what you've really called me to? God,
mhm,
I know, I'm not the best speaker. I know I'm not great at putting things together sometimes. Is this really what you've called me to? But he always gives me a sign or confirmation. And I always know, and I'm not, I come home, I have a job. I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed. I'm not a mother, but I do know, I do work
abilities.
at a
Yeah.
daycare, so I do know what it's like, to come in and, to feel overwhelmed and, feel broken and feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's many times that I have to take myself out of my thoughts because I will go back to those thoughts of when I was mentally abused and lived, in a real hard life for over 15 years. And so, you don't just drop that. And so it's taken a long time for me to know that, I am loved and I don't have to think that way anymore, and then I let it go, but it does creep back in. It's easy to
Yes.
do, but keeping this going and reaching out to women and bringing them together like this is just so needed. And I don't, how old are you, if you don't mind sharing that?
I'm 26 years old.
See, look at that. I just love it because here you are, 26 years old. You could be out doing God knows what, you know, decided that no, I'm going to be living from the Lord. I'm going to keep my path open for Him, and He's blessing you. And you're going to, the women that you're touching are probably like me. I'm 60 years old, but you've touched my life, and just knowing that
Oh,
you've done that, and it's just, I get tears thinking about it. Just more women, especially your age, because again, I hope girls your age do come to this because they are lost. They feel like nobody's ever going to love me. I'm never going to get married, or they've gotten married and out of, divorced, and they're just feel worthless, like we've said. But
yes.
it's just, oh, I just love it. I love
And
that.
this event is for women for all ages,
All
all walks of life. I
okay.
mean, I don't put an age limit on it, for just women in general, because, as older women, we are to teach the younger.
Mhm.
We are to learn from the older.
Mhm.
This isn't any age discrimination. I open it to all women.
My most favorite times is sitting down with women in their 70s and 80s. I
Yes.
love hearing their story and their walk and what they've gone through in life, thinking, I've had it bad. Just sit down with one of them and listen at the hard struggles that they went through, but they stayed faithful and they kept their eyes on God and their heart and soul in the word. And so I like, oh, they bring me hope because, we are in a tough spot in this world now. We know it's not going to get any better, but we can at least make it better around us, and keep
Right. We can be that light and that
it.
vessel for God to show others.
So tell us about your event that's coming up because I know you've got one coming up soon, and the location.
Yes.
And
It is May 28th from 1 to 5 here in Chattooga County, where I'm from, at the Somerville Civic Center, or not Somerville Civic Center, I'm so sorry, the Ag Center in Somerville, Georgia.
okay,
It's
and
called Sisters in Christ.
nice, I love it. So when we get off, you can give me you shoot me the address and everything for that, and I'll add it when we do the posting of the podcast so that people know where it's located, and then maybe a contact information if you have that they can reach you if they have questions.
Yes.
And, anybody that wants to reach out, I know that you're a nonprofit organization, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So anybody that wants to offer any kind of monetary or gifts to help her with this event, just let her know, because this is all on her. She's following his heart and doing what he has asked her to do. So it takes work, and it takes a lot of people to come together. And I know she's got probably a good little team of people that do help her. So if you feel it in your heart to reach out to her, just do that. I know she'll be blessed and appreciate it so much. Tenny, I appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk to this lady that you don't even know yet. We haven't
You're
even
so
met yet,
sweet.
but we will, because I plan on coming, and I told you I'm gonna
Yay.
bring a couple of friends. So I will look forward to hugging your neck and meeting you, and just
Oh,
absorbing it and seeing all that you do. Like,
yes. I look forward to meeting you as well as your
yeah.
friends.
Yes, yes. I mean, when God tells you to do something, like you said, and I didn't know you, and I don't know how I saw you on a Facebook, and when I saw that Beauty of Ashes, I was like, I need to know her.
I believe we're all supposed to meet the right people at the right time. God
Yeah,
puts people in our path for a reason.
he sure does. He sure does, and I love that. And I've gotten so many friends that way, just being open to it, and not like, why would I want to be friends with that person? Like, why, or why would they want to be friends with me? Sometimes I think it that way, backwards. I'm like, why would they want to be friends with me? But anyway, I do appreciate you so, so much. And you just keep going, girlfriend. I am praying for you and your whole program that you're doing. I know there's going to be many more to come. And, where you're open to go speak in other places. That's awesome. The different churches maybe that'll look at this and say, hey, we need to have her come and tell what's going on. That Such a sport when you get that.
Yes, I'm actually having a there's a ladies Mother's Day breakfast in May, the beginning of May, that I
Awesome.
had an old elementary school teacher invite me to speak at. So that's really
Aw.
exciting.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so good. See, so you're getting all these connections so that it'll help build what you have. And the prayer support is the best. That's the biggest,
Yes.
the prayer support. So you just,
Yes, because I do tend to get nervous, and whenever I
yeah.
speak, I'm new at it.
Oh,
So,
I know. I know. Well, see, this is like me too here. This podcast thing is new to me. And, like I told you, I'm raw. I mean, I just love it to be real life and what's happening. So, again, I just thank you you're my first one. You're my first guest.
oh, yay! I feel so honored.
So that's awesome. I've been so excited all day thinking about it. So you just have a wonderful night. And I, again, appreciate you taking the time to be with me today on Lolly Love and Life.
Yes, thank you.
Bye bye, sweetie.
Bye.
What a beautiful ministry Tinnie has going. Beauty for Ashes, a woman's ministry. You can follow her on Facebook. You can also attend the event on May 28th at the Agriculture Center in Summerville, Georgia. That's on 40 Middle School Road. She also has her phone number where you can reach her at 762-235-9183. And if you have any questions, she'll be there to answer those for you. Or if you would like to donate and help her with this event, I'm sure she would appreciate that so much. But most of all, she appreciates your prayers. Thank you guys for tuning in to Lolly Love and Life.